I wanted to talk about particularly. I like this article. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, particularly in regards to this media post that I saw. And I thought about it. I thought about it clearly. I thought about what he meant. Particularly in Reddit. I like checking out Reddit. Sometimes they have good questions. Particularly this question is game dev YouTubers. I kind of hate them. So I think about more about game dev YouTubers. Personally, I think there's been kind of like this misunderstanding between game development and YouTube. I think a lot of people that are brand new to indie game development and solo development feel like that you need to be a YouTuber for you to market your game and to become successful. It's not always the case. You can have like an easy marketing, like maybe have like maybe a streamer or somebody play it, right? Like I said, it can hurt you or it can really benefit you. I've seen people where they had popular streamers play their game, and it's a lot of negative comments. So it's kind of like it can go both ways. It can go like maybe it really benefits you, and sometimes just you get people that say, oh, I really hate your game. It's like, oh shit, it's kind of like like I said, it depends how well your game is, how unique your game is, and how much popularity you get. It's not something that you can do right away. It's not something that's just easy to do. I think honestly, if you're not a good public speaker or you're not good in virtual speaking, I don't think you really need to do YouTube. It's too much. Marketing today is all about Steam Fest and Steam demos being played in very popular YouTubers. Yeah, I agree. What's up, Dio? I agree, right? I think that's what it is mostly. I don't think it has to do anything with marketing on YouTube or even kind of. It could trailer could help. I think if you have a good trailer, could help really well. I think Steam Fest do help for sure. I think putting your game on Steam does help. And if somebody picks it up and they see, oh wow, this is a really cool game. A lot of times you don't even see those games on YouTube, right? A lot of times I see them just on like on Steam Fest, like, oh, this looks like a potential game. But there are, like I said, there are cases when there's games that are like, yeah, well maybe this one has some potential, but it's nothing too crazy where you go, it's okay. It's nothing that you would say, oh, I really like this game. Not like that. It like I said, it depends a lot on where you're at in game development. For me, I do YouTube and I do live streaming and Twitch because I like YouTube and I like live streaming. So I'm a case where it's kind of like I do like YouTube doing YouTube and I like doing it with game development. I wouldn't want to like stay away from the niche. I don't know if I would get into politics. Probably not. I don't think I would. Probably gaming. I would definitely do gaming, and I would do game development. Those are the two things I probably want to get into. I don't think I would want to stray. Who knows? Maybe when I'm older, who knows? I might do it. But for now, I'm definitely just gonna stay with YouTube and Twitch streaming. But because I really like it and I like doing game development, and for me, I like being kind of like the influencer type where I can say, hey, you guys, even you can do game development, and I like to do this solo development. So I like that, and I think Steam, yeah, like you said, Steam Fest works much better, oftentimes, and you don't need someone to get all popular and say, oh wow, right? You can be a YouTuber. You don't need to come up with these, what is it, tutorials? Like, what is it? Like the Brackeys tutorials. What a bunch of tutorials I've seen out there. There's some okay ones. I think I learned a lot from Brackeys tutorials, and then the Blackthorn Prot tutorials. They were pretty good. Those tutorials were pretty solid when I took them. But eventually I end up rewriting them and putting my own kind of like word encoding. And I think that's also the other issue too. If you want to be kind of like a tutorial person, or what kind of, way do you want to market your game? But yeah, honestly, you don't need to do any stuff like YouTube. You don't need to do live streaming. You can get someone to do it for you. Obviously, if they have like a high viewership, that I'd rather do. I would much rather do that instead of doing anything else. But yeah, that was a quick subject that I wanted to talk about. It was kind of like a small thing. I was like, yeah, I know there's a really hate for YouTube. I think if, it doesn't necessarily you can be successful. They're kind of like different branches, YouTube and then game development. They don't really, not really relatable. You have to use really clicky bait type of games, and you can often see people talk about that never made a game before. I know GMTK is the biggest example. GMTK is a really cool. He gives you good tips. However, right until recently, GMTK never made a game, so he had more knowledge, more like theory, but he never really had the practice until he started making his game. I think that's when he kind of like started taking more seriously. All right, maybe there's a few things that about game development that is not easy. And I think once he released his game, he realized, well, you know what? It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. And I think that's really the difference. It's kind of like trying to be a pro athlete, when you don't have the experience. You never like done any running or anything. You just know the theory, how to do it, right? But you never honestly done any of running or anything like that. So I might do more game devlogs. I think that would be much nicer, and I can kind of like publish them in there. I wish I could take a couple of my streams, I can put them all in. I might be able to do that too. I might be able to just put a stream in and I'll just talk about this crafting game in particular. I think that'll be a good one. Devlog takes an insane amount of work. Really, you think so? Do you think game devlogs take a lot of work? What is it about doing game devlogs that take time? Usually, like, here's what I do when I do devlogs. I like to use my Twitch stream, and I'll mute it, and I'll just kind of like fast forward it, and I'll kind of like show my process, like what I'm doing. And if not, I usually will do like quick screenshots of how my game is, and I'll just talk. I'll just talk about whatever that's on my mind. Okay, this is the progress that I'm doing. This is what I did this week. This is what I'm trying to do, and then this is the future that I'm trying to do. Now I kind of wing it. I'm pretty good about doing that. Obviously, if you're organized, you get like a better flow. But I've been pretty good about winging things, like on the spot. I'll do a presentation. I'll talk about my game, and I'll do that sort of process. Person's not for everybody. I know a few people that do YouTube, or like they try to like talk on the microphone and they try to record, and sometimes they kind of like stutter a little bit, or they get too hyper, or they get too like, they kind of like stutter their words, or they meant to say other things that weren't supposed to say. So I think if you don't have the practice, like I said, again with the practice of doing YouTube or not, if you don't have the patience to do YouTube, and you feel like game devlogs or tutorials or anything really YouTube related in regards to game development, if you feel like it's too difficult and it takes too long, then I don't think it's worth it. Now there's another option too. You can do devlogs and you can just post like a little quick article on on Twitter, on X, right? Or even on your personal website. This is what I'm working on. You just write a quick text. Here's a picture or a GIF, and you're done. That's actually a much better way to do devlogs. You don't have to talk. You don't have to say anything. Just quick sentence, like a paragraph or two. Not a paragraph, maybe a paragraph, right? Long, and then you can just explain, this is what I did, this is the trouble I had, and this is the latest screenshot. That's a good way of doing devlogs. I kind of like that format. You don't have to be extroverted. You don't have to talk. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to come up with things on the fly like that. So I like that sort of process. Do I think they're necessary though, game devlogs? It's good to see your journey. I personally like to see my journey, like the progress I went through in my game. And people can say, wow, oh, you did this, and this is where you failed, this is where I kind of learned. It's kind of like more for you, right? It's more for your personal growth. That's the way I see game devlogs. I know people say, oh, maybe you'll get famous or something. I don't like that aspect of it. Whenever you do a devlog or a YouTube tutorial, don't think, oh, this is it. I'm gonna get like 1 million views. I'm gonna make a bunch of money. Forget that. Just use it for your personal growth and see how well you do. If you don't do much effort into them, they get less attention. Then the point is, why even spend time on versus working on your game? Like I said, if you can do it quickly, I don't have any issues. Like for me, I can do a quick video, and it'll probably take me like about an hour or 30 minutes max, right? If it takes you like, like 2 hours, or even if it takes you like 2 or 3 hours to do a devlog or something like that, then I would say it's not worth it, right? But if it takes you like maybe, like I said, if it's like a small gibberish script, if it takes you 50 minutes, it's worth it. I don't think it's bad. But in regards to attention, don't do it for attention. Don't think about getting millions of views on YouTube, becoming popular, and having all these subscriptions. I know the money helps. I know it's really beneficial when you have that, YouTube following. It really helps a lot, but it's not as much honestly, it's not really that much that you're getting. Like I said, you're better off finishing your game